following is a presentation of WLCN 96.3 FM and WLCNonline.com. This live video stream is made possible in part by WLCN's live stream technology sponsor, Me Realty, located at 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln and online at merealty.com. It is 4:02 p.m., time for the 4 p.m. 411 here on WLCN 96.3 FM. I am Loyd Kirby, the marketing manager here, and for the next half hour we will have, as we always do, a person of interest in the news with some knowledge he's going to share with us. Due to the election last week, normally on the first Tuesday of the month we have Mayor Tracy Welch with us, but with the ongoing election we decided to postpone that for a week. So Mayor Welch, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me again.
I realized I've forgotten to push one button here, so I'm going to ask you a question and let you tell us a little bit about it. So I saw there was a council meeting last night. Is that correct?
We did have a council.
And you now have a full slate of committee council members, yeah, city council members. So Stan Anderson, I believe, was named. Can you tell us a little bit about his background and what sort of the panel that chose him, what made him the best fit?
Yeah, Stan has a background working in the agricultural industry. But Stan's been in Lincoln for 14, 15 years, pretty active in the community, up to speed on a lot of the things that we are discussing, and he's been following along. And that process, the way we addressed it was when Alderman Eimer resigned, we put that out to the public for anybody that was interested. We did have 8 candidates that were interested in there, and 3 of them did not meet the requirements because Alderman Eimer was a Republican and he got elected as a Republican. We had to replace that seat or fill it with a Republican.
Okay.
But I still think it's great that we got 8 candidates, and we interviewed the 5 Republicans that stepped forward, and they were all asked the same questions, given the same amount of time, and ultimately the panel decided that the best choice to go forward at this time was with Stan Anderson.
So that brings the council up to its full complement of, is it 7? 8 members, okay.
Yep. Gives us a full council now.
Okay, and so now you get to do fun things like talk about solar panels.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, so you shared with us last month that the topic had come up, and there were some, I wouldn't say issues, but some concerns raised as far as the just the aesthetic appeal of the panels and near residential areas and so forth. I guess another issue was brought to light last night in terms of some commercial use of solar.
Yeah, there's a couple projects. I think we can talk about it because we've talked about it in an open meeting at this point, but there's a couple projects. One is behind the new Tremont Bank, and the other one will go behind the El Mazatlan restaurant out on the west side of town. And ultimately, these businesses are trying to put these arrays up to help curb costs of electricity. The costs are going up for all of us, and they're trying to be cost conscious. The topic of solar, ground-mounted solar specifically, came up in relation to those projects, how they will look and appear on the main corridors. Also, some ground-mounted solar is now in residential areas. So some council members felt that it was the right time to bring that up and talk about it. We did talk about it. We implemented an ordinance, and last night some representatives of the projects that were in flight, they came and spoke to us about how that ordinance is going to impact their projects, increase costs, and ultimately I think the ask from them is there any consideration to the situation as a whole and what's been passed?
Right. So the concerns raised, I believe, had to do with the 12-foot fences, and at least one of the concerns had to do with that and how it might impact placement of the panels, the ability of the sunlight to hit the panels and so forth. So yeah, I would never have thought of that as far as...
We learned a lot about solar. We knew about solar before, but this has educated us even more, not only on that front, but the county in regional planning this week, they talked about that as well. And so the county is not far behind the city in adopting some ground-mounted solar ordinances as well. Again, an opportunity for us to work together and kind of be in alignment. I'd have to look at what their ordinance is in more detail to see how close we are. But I think the sentiment is the same for both and the intent.
Sure. So again, more citizens getting involved, giving you feedback. I guess that also would have happened because since the last time we met, you had a Coffee with the Mayor event.
We did.
When you had a full slate of guests with you as well, I believe. So were there any particular issues or items that came out of that might be of interest to share?
I think there was a lot of questions for the chief of police. He attended more so. He addressed some safety concerns. We talked about the Safety Act and how it relates to equity in the community and things of that nature. We also talked about the strategic plan that Alderwoman O'Donoghue and Alderman Sanders are working on. And we talked a couple of things J.R. Glenn actually brought up at the county and they were working on. So I think all around, Alderman Parrott was there as well, and he brought up some topics as well. And all in all, we were there probably hour and a half, almost 2 hours again. So these things, we always say, will go as long as you'd like to go within reason, and 2 hours I think is the max we've done.
Okay.
Great turnout though, and I hope it continues.
Yeah, so those happen about every 2 months, is that correct? So okay, so probably about
May 29th is the next
May
one.
29th. All right,
Yep.
breaking news. Let me write that down.
May 29th.
All right. Let's see. Why don't we go ahead and take our first break here? Once again, our guest is Mayor Tracy Welch from the City of Lincoln. 217-648-5510, the number to call if you have questions, comments, anything you'd like to share with the mayor. We will be here for that until 4:30, or you can email those questions, 4 p.m. 411 at WLCNonline.com. We'll be back in 2 minutes with more from Mayor Tracy Welch.
Culver's is a family restaurant. To me, that means being the place that puts a smile on everyone's face. We're famous for our cooked-to-order butter burgers and frozen custard made daily inside our restaurants. But we've always believed more menu options mean more ways to brighten your day. We source the finest chicken to bring you our tenders and chicken sandwiches. And our cheese curds. They're a Wisconsin tradition we're proud to share with you. So take the next meal shift off and let us take care of you. Welcome to Delicious.
Culver's, home of the Butter Burger, 2530 Woodlawn Road in Lincoln. Full Gospel Evangelistic Center makes an impact locally and beyond through a wide range of events, ministries, and outreaches. Pastors Steve and Debbie Owens invite you to worship Sunday mornings at 10:30 and attend Wednesday night Bible studies at 6:30. Connect with FGEC online, follow them on Facebook, download their app, and visit their new website at myfgec.org with live YouTube video streams as well as recordings of services and special events. Full Gospel Evangelistic Center, 304 North McLean Street in Lincoln. Whether you're buying or selling your home, the brokers of Me Realty will work with you to get the deal done. As one of Central Illinois' top producing offices for decades, Me Realty has the experience to guide you through the process. You want results? Call the brokers of Me Realty at 217-735-5424, stop by the office at 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln, or check out local listings online at merealty.com. And we are back on the 4 p.m. 411 here with Lincoln Mayor Tracy Welch. 217-648-5510, the number to call if you have questions of Mayor Welch. You can also send those questions via email, 4 p.m. 411 at WLCNonline.com. We were talking about various aspects of public feedback, I guess, and some things that have been discussed lately. Let's turn to a topic now, an offering from the city, the Electronics Recycling Day coming up.
Yep. So we do this every year, and we're going to do it again this year. So this is an opportunity to get rid of those electronic items that you've had sitting around the house that it's expensive to get rid of. TVs, I mean, you have to take them out of town anymore. I actually had to do that recently. It's $25 for that. Wow. So it's open to the county, not just for residents of Lincoln, so everybody can come in. The dates on it are April 21st, 22nd, and 24th and 25th from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then on April 23rd, which I believe is a Wednesday, it's 8 a.m. to 7 p.m., a little extended hours for others. And then that will take place at the Municipal Services Building at 313 Limit Street. So computers, monitors, TVs, printers, DVD players, things of that nature.
Right. And it says, I believe on the press release, no broken items will be accepted, but that means physically broken, not broken as in they don't work.
Yeah, we're really trying to avoid people getting hurt because we have people at the city, staff, and volunteers that help, and we don't want anybody to get hurt with a broken screen, something of that nature.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Last time that you had that event, I don't know if you can recall this off the top of your head, but you told me there was like a ridiculous amount of, I think it was TVs or monitor, or I can't remember if you gave me the pounds or number of TVs.
Oh, yeah, I couldn't even remember those. I don't even know if Wes could, but
I thought it was in was it in the thousands?
Yeah, surely in the thousands. Yeah. If you've been out to that recycling before, we throw all those in those big toters and they get loaded up on semis. I don't think it's out of the norm for us to have 30 plus totes filled up by the end of the week.
Wow.
So it's a great free opportunity for people to get rid of things. Keeps people from doing silly things like throwing them in ditches and things of that nature. Right. So, and if people need help, let us know. We'll do our best to help you out. But yeah, bring your stuff out. Let's get rid of it. Let's get it out of the community.
I plan to. So
yep. I do too. I've got my stuff myself.
How does that come about? Like, what are the arrangements? Is there just a fee paid to the company that does the recycling, the disposal, or whatever, or is it part of the it's separate from the contract with the city as far as trash service, correct?
Yeah, it is. This is a separate event that we do, and Mr. Woodhull has managed to find a company that we work well with, and we load the toters up, and then they come down after the event and load them on trucks and take them away. I don't remember the exact amount of money that we spend for that, but it's not expensive at all. I want to say it's less than $1,000.
Oh, wow.
But I might be wrong. It's not very expensive at all for what they do for us. And I'm assuming that's because they take it, recycle it, and that's how they recoup their money.
Oh, sure.
In that respect. So, yeah.
The other thing I noticed about this, and I don't know if you have any insights on this, but I noticed, and you mentioned it's open to the residents of Logan County, not just City of Lincoln. So I know there have been previous events that have just been open to folks who live in the city proper, and I believe those were actually maybe hosted by the GFL, the garbage service folks.
Yep.
So do you have any insights on why that was arranged that way? Like
in the past, or with GFL?
No, this particular event being open to county citizens versus just City of Lincoln? Is it just...
Well, I think part of it was because in the past, the city and the county were trying to do similar things. I mean, I've attended events in the past that the county hosted, and we have a good facility to do it. The last time that I did it for the county, if I remember correctly, it was out at the fairgrounds. There was a line a mile long. People were very agitated. It was slow. It took time, and that's nothing to do with the county. They did a phenomenal job of organizing it. But when we have the building that we do and the staff that's available, we can spread that out over the course of a week.
Right.
And so it just makes it easier for people to also work it into their schedule. So you have an opportunity every day that week to bring out your stuff. So it's really a collaboration with the council to help all of our residents.
Yeah, all right. And I like it because I get rid of junk. So my wife, I'm sure, appreciates that as well. So we had an election recently.
We did.
And the results of that are not official until 14 days after. Is that correct? Or do we know the official results?
Yeah, now keep in mind, I don't work for the county or Teresa Moore's office.
Correct.
But they are waiting. I think they have to wait 14 days to officially certify the results of the general election.
But to your knowledge, there's been no massive write-in campaign that somehow is not made its way onto the voting totals that we've seen on the county's website.
No, I think what you see is what you get with the results. The only one that's really outstanding, I think everybody has been talking about online, is the one for Ward 1, and that's Steve Parrott and Seth Goodman in that race. And it's, according to the counts, there's a 3-vote difference at this time. So in a couple of weeks, we'll find out. Actually, next week, we'll find out what the final results are, and then we'll move forward from there with the candidate that the community chose.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's premature or not, but congratulations. I guess are tentatively in order. I mean,
thank you.
Almost officially in order for another week, as you said. So I don't know how one approaches the mayorship of a town versus like a governor or a president, where they sort of survey things and have a State of the Union or a State of the State type of an address or type of a thing. Do you have any certain goals or visions or things you accomplished previously, and now that you're reelected, things that you're hoping to maybe move to the forefront and maybe make some progress on?
Yeah, I think we laid some pretty good groundwork in my first 4 years. I mean, we've got the Economic Development Grant Program off the ground. It's been hugely successful. We've focused on blighted properties. I was talking with someone about that today, our efforts in there. I think that there's a really increased sense of community pride and spirit, and we've done little things like increased our parks presence, all of the equipment. The downtown Christmas is beautiful, the lights back downtown, but there are things that we've been focusing on going in already into this next term. They were already in flight. Had the results been different, hopefully another mayor would have took them up. But LDC, I'm pretty excited about that, and seeing where that goes. The IDJJ facility, that particular project is pretty close to opening up and becoming operational. We still don't know what's going to happen with the prison. So, some good, some bad there. But, there's some projects that I'm working on, like I believe, and I've talked with others, that there's an untapped opportunity here on the east side of town, so that if we could get some infrastructure laid out, we could probably increase the industrial corridor out here, perhaps create an opportunity for additional housing and a developer to come in. So I've already had conversations, and we're working on that type of stuff. So there's a lot of things. The strategic plan, it will help lay the groundwork for the things that we need to work on in the next 4 to 5 years. The partnership with the county, big stuff. So, I mean, that's kind of what I'm focusing on at this time, and we'll move forward with it.
All right, very good. So once again, our guest is Mayor Tracy Welch. 217-648-5510, the number to call if you have questions of Mayor Welch, or you can email them 4pm411 at WLCNonline.com. We're at 20 past the hour, so we'll go ahead and take our second break, and we'll be back with Mayor Tracy Welch right after this. Whether you're buying or selling your home, the brokers of Me Realty will work with you to get the deal done. As one of Central Illinois' top producing offices for decades, Me Realty has the experience to guide you through the process. You want results? Call the brokers of Me Realty at 217-735-5424, stop by the office at 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln, or check out local listings online at merealty.com.
Culver's is a family restaurant. To me, that means being the place that puts a smile on everyone's face. We're famous for our cooked-to-order butter burgers and frozen custard made daily inside our restaurants. But we've always believed more menu options mean more ways to brighten your day. We source the finest chicken to bring you our tenders and chicken sandwiches. And our cheese curds. They're a Wisconsin tradition we're proud to share with you. So take the next meal shift off and let us take care of you. Welcome to Delicious.
Culver's, home of the Butterburger, 2530 Woodlawn Road in Lincoln. Full Gospel Evangelistic Center makes an impact locally and beyond through a wide range of events, ministries, and outreaches. Pastors Steve and Debbie Owens invite you to worship Sunday mornings at 10:30 and attend Wednesday night Bible studies at 6:30. Connect with FGEC online, follow them on Facebook, download their app, and visit their new website at myfgec.org with live YouTube video streams as well as recordings of services and special events. Full Gospel Evangelistic Center, 304 North McLean Street in Lincoln. 411 with Lincoln Mayor Tracy Welch. We've got about 8 minutes left. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, issues you'd like to bring to Mayor Welch's attention, 217-648-5510 or 4 p.m. 411 at WLCN online if you'd like to submit those by email. So we're talking about what we're going to talk about here. You mentioned you mentioned the weather recently and the storm that came through. How has the city been impacted by that? And I mean, it looked like things were getting cleaned up pretty much, I wouldn't say as they happened, but very, very quickly after. So hats off to the crews that have been taking care of that responsibility. Yeah, it was a lot of damage in a short period of time, but the first responders, Ameren crew, streets and alleys, everybody that plays a role in city operations and partners with the county and other services, they jumped in pretty quickly. Mm-hmm. And, they got the roads cleared, trees removed. Ameren was still working on the power lines the following day because the west side all lost power. Sounds like Eaton is working on their roof as well, which had a lot of damage. Arby's was still operational, even though the roof collapsed in the lobby, and thankfully nobody was hurt in any of what came through, so that's what's important. So what is what does the mayor do in that? Because, I mean, you aren't administering aid and you aren't going out and working on power lines or pulling tree branches or anything. Are you sort of overseeing, making sure folks are doing what they need to do or passing along information, or do you just kind of sit back and let the machine sort of take care of itself? Well, that's exactly it. The machine, it runs. They train for those type of events, and I didn't have to instruct my team on what to do. They knew what to do. But what I typically do in that case is I just ask that I get the most current information about the event itself and where we're at on things, a status update, so that I can share that and pass it along with others, so that my team doesn't have to stop and do press conferences and things. I can answer those. But also, I got out that morning and I was going around town that was impacted and, taking photos and talking to residents that were impacted, talking to the crews that were out on the street, and really just being there for support, for awareness of the extent of the damage, and then to make sure that if they needed something from me by way of authority to take action for anything, that I was available. So I spent at least half of the day at City Hall that day just being available and meeting with people. Okay. So. And I'll put you on the spot here now because we didn't talk about this, but in addition to being available as the mayor, you're also available as a citizen. I noticed some information about some folks going door to door and offering some services that may or may not have been above board. Yeah, some of that came with the storm. It always does with every event we get. Solicitors are always in town, and we have a process that they have to go through, and you're supposed to have a permit. And if somebody comes to your door and they knock on your door, you have the right to ask them to display a permit. If they don't have one, they need to go to City Hall and get one. Some people are very good about that and being respectful. Others maybe not so much. I encountered one that was not so respectful. And my event was simply, I was looking out for my neighbor. I have an elderly neighbor that lives next to me, and I help him out when I can. And I came home and I saw 3 individuals that I didn't know that were kind of surrounding him on his front porch, and simply asking him if he was okay seemed to have triggered one of them. And at some point in the conversation, he told me I was dismissed.
So at that point, the best approach is don't argue with them. So I got on the phone and I notified the police department. They stopped and had a conversation with them. Whether they were legitimate or not, I don't know that.
Right.
But they need to know that if they're operating in the city, we welcome them to do so. Just do it the proper way.
And what is that process as far as getting a permit to solicit? Is it just going to City Hall and filling out a form and maybe paying a small fee or something? Or
you go to the clerk's office up at City Hall at 700 Broadway Street. There's a form that they have to fill out. Anybody who's going to be soliciting, they have to run a background check on them. We want to know who's in our community, and so once the background check comes back, they pay a small fee for each member on their crew, and then they're issued a permit. And so sometimes solicitors will say, "Oh, I'm here for Ameren," or "Here's my company badge." The City of Lincoln, you'll see the City of Lincoln logo on the permit, and if they don't display something with the City of Lincoln logo on it, it's not a legit permit.
Right.
So, look out for each other. That's the message.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of looking out for each other, maybe not so much looking out, but at least enjoying one another's company, the Third Fridays events are... it's April already, so not too far away, and I know you're involved with the planning and the committee that handles that. So
yeah, I do sit on that committee. I have since I came to the city, and it's a great event. We talk a lot about it every year and how wonderful it is. And going back to the very beginning, and the message was, you can come downtown, spend $20 or so, have a evening of fun with your family, and all of the events are themed. And so this year we'll have May, June, and July. May is Kicks on Route 66. That's May 16th. And then Nashville Nights has become the popular one over the last few years, and that's June 20th. And then July 18th is what we call Shark Week. And we were trying to find a theme, and usually we have water slides and things of that nature. So that's how we ended up with Shark Week. So, we got new faces on the committee again this year, which is wonderful. I think... they'll bring a fresh perspective, and the people that have been on there diligently serving our community as volunteers, we appreciate them as well.
How big is that committee roughly?
I think there's about 8 of us, 7 or 8 at this point, and it's made up of city elected officials, volunteers in the community, members from the park district are on there, members from local churches. We really don't turn anybody away, and it's because everybody brings a fresh perspective, and we want to make the events as fun as possible, but we do kind of focus on changing things up to keep it kind of fresh, so it's good to have new faces.
Yep, very good. So, we're almost to 4:30. Anything we've omitted or that you wanted to get out there before we... ways with the airways. So.
No, I think we covered quite a bit in a short time.
Yeah. How about that? So, once again, congratulations on the re-election and
thank you.
The pending re-election, official re-election, and we will see you probably in about 3 weeks, since we're a week late. 4 weeks, I guess. Yeah, because there's 4 weeks.
Yeah, so. You just tell me when to be here, and I'll be here.
Okay, yeah, I will do that. So once again, our guest has been Mayor Tracy Welch. We'll be back again next week with more topics. Don't forget to tune in to Viewpoint tomorrow morning with host Dara Entwistle. That airs at 8 a.m. And next week, we'll have another guest for you here on the 4 p.m. 411. On behalf of Mayor Tracy Welch, I'm Loyd Kirby. Thank you for listening and watching. This live video stream is made possible in part by WLCN's live stream technology sponsor, Me Realty, located at 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln, and online at merealty.com. The preceding program is a presentation of WLCN 96.3 FM and WLCNonline.com.